Story 1. I bought a washing machine at the start of the pandemic. We used to haul the clothes to a laundromat and fold them there. Story 2. This is my cat Romeo. Story 3. I am not saying it was chickens, but it was chickens. They eat weeds and table scraps. They give us eggs and compost. They are funny as heck and make me go outside regularly. Best of all, they are really good for my family's mental health. Just being with them has been especially important this year. Story 4. A Roomba. After having 3 spinal surgeries a few years ago, vacuuming has been the most difficult. This device has helped me more than you will ever know. Story 5. The squat rack took a long time to set up, but it was worth the wait. Story 6. I bought some pants a week or 2 ago. I've had only 2 pairs for quite a while, and it will feel nice to have some more. Story 7. I am living in Southeast Asia where it is scorching hot. I do not have an air conditioner in my room, so I bought an air cooler just before the lockdown started. It was the best purchase. It does not cool the room entirely, but it makes the heat bearable. Story 8. An inflatable stand-up paddleboard. Being able to drive to a lake and paddle for a few hours really helped me get through this year. Story 9. A telescope. It is incredible to see Jupiter's moons and Saturn, and to realize there is much more in the sky than meets the eye. Thank you for the awards. For those planning to purchase a telescope, I recommend spending time researching. There are different kinds of telescopes, and their use depends on your purpose. A good telescope for viewing planets may not be the best for observing deep sky objects. A telescope that is great at home might be too large to travel with. Another may be easy to set up but not ideal for astrophotography. Research will help you find the type that best suits you. Story 10. A good backpack. I did not think it would be so handy, but I use it every day. It is reassuring to know I can just grab it and go instead of worrying about gathering my things or realizing I left something at home. Story 11. I bought a massive cutting board from IKEA for $14 that sits on our counter. We love it, even though the store used a Jedi mind trick to get us to buy it when we came in for a desk. Story 12. An oversized sweater makes me feel safe. It is large and comfortable. Story 13. A big, fancy desk for my home office. Now I am actually comfortable working from home. Story 14. Lego keeps my hands and mind busy. Who cares if I am 33? Story 15. My wife and I were both working from home in a 500 square foot apartment, which did not go well. We finally bought a house with room to spread out, and it has made our lives much easier. I recognize this was not an impulsive purchase. It was one we had been saving for 8 years. Story 16. I am reading each of these responses as if they are the customer on a late-night infomercial, and it makes the comments much more entertaining. Story 17. A soft-close toilet seat. No longer will I be awakened at night by the phantom midnight pooper. Story 18. Invisalign. I am 2 months into treatment and can see major improvements. People no longer notice or hear me talking funny because of a retainer. 2 more months to go. I never thought I would win an award for having crooked teeth, but now it seems worth it. Story 19. A new bed. I sleep so much better now. Edit. Just so I do not have to keep answering, I bought a Sealy. No, this is not an advertisement for them. Story 20. I bought a running 1984 Camaro to learn how to work on cars and to have a project vehicle. I have wanted to do this since I was a kid. So far I have rebuilt the drum brakes, replaced the universal joints, replaced all wheel bearings and seals, bought a new carburetor, upgraded to an electric radiator fan, restored all the gauges to factory original condition, and done a lot of other work. I have learned a substantial amount so far. When I save some money, I am going to tear into the engine and rebuild it. No edit. I am leaving it as an 84-foot Camaro. My Reddit project car post is up. Story 21. Laser-assisted in situ keratomelusis. Seriously, I have never had a second of regret. Truly is life-changing. People who see naturally have no idea how good they have it. Edit. This comment received a lot of questions and attention. To answer some, it was not painful. I had some dry eye on the way home after the surgery that felt like sandpaper. Once I was home, I napped thanks to the medication, and by the time I woke it was gone and I could see. Take some time to heal, but the healing process was painless. The surgery did not hurt. You are completely numb, and it was extremely fast. Please do not try to cut costs for it. This is your vision, so make sure you find a very reputable surgeon. If you are on the fence, do it. It was the best decision I have ever made. Thank you for the awards. Story 22. Technically not this year, but in December 2019, not knowing what was around the corner, I bought a bidet. Little did I know how great a purchase it would turn out to be. Even without the pandemic, it is probably the best purchase I have ever made. Story 23. I bought a $2 travel mug that earns me free coffee at a gas station every Tuesday. I cannot wait for my 200th refill because after that I will have paid less than 1 cent for each refill. This is my goal in life. Story 24. Does a refinance count? I ended up with a 375% rate and saved about $160,000. Story 25. I got my first gaming desktop. Oh my God. The difference is amazing. Thank you so much for the support. Everyone keeps asking, so I will add that it was store-bought. I would love to build one next, but for now the specifications are Advanced Micro Devices Ryzen 5 3400G with Radeon Vega graphics, 7 GHz, 8 GB of random access memory, 64-bit Windows 10 professional operating system, build 19041, 685. It is a start, but it is 10 times better than what I had. Story 26. I purchased a solid 14-karat gold Swiss watch at a garage sale for $5. It is probably my purchase of the year. Story 27. I bought a new vacuum cleaner. It is much better than my old one. I love it. Note: lesson learned, do not post a comment on Reddit and then walk away, because I came back to 157 notifications for all your comments. I did my best to read them all. For future commenters, this is my new vacuum cleaner. Story 28. My cat is a tiny calico that seems to see more invisible demons than the average cat. But she is the best thing to come out of 2020. Here is the cat tax. I told her how many people thought she was cute. It promptly went to her head and she knocked my glass of water over. If you want something extra heartfelt, she was a foster fail. I was on the fence about adopting her until we saw how quickly she and our other cat bonded. He had been lonely since our roommate moved out with her cat. Happily, our other foster baby was adopted by our old roommate. Story 29. I bought a heated blanket last night. It is the best solution for my cramps. I usually pass out from the pain, but once I wrapped myself in the blanket, the cramps became manageable. Edit. I know my cramps sound bad, but believe me, I have been on multiple forms of birth control since I was 16, and none of them have worked so far. I will not have my first Papa Nicolau test until I turn 21, so do not worry. My doctor is well aware of my constant pain. Normally, to help ease my cramps, I take an Aleve on the first day of my period. I have also found that eating soy products helps reduce the pain. I think it has something to do with estrogen levels. I drink soy milk and eat edamame the week before my period begins. With those things plus the heated blanket, it is smooth sailing. Story 30. Melatonin gummy bears helped me. I used to wake up in the middle of the night, but now I get great, deep sleep. Do not thank me. Thank my wife for getting them at Kroger. I hope they help you as they helped me. Story 31. A mattress warmer with dual controls fits directly on the mattress like a mattress protector. The bottom sheet is placed over it. The warmth rises gently from below, helping your body relax and enjoy a good sleep, especially on cold winter nights. Story 32. 2 adopted kittens. Cat tax. Story 33. I had my eyes treated with the small incision lenticule extraction procedure. I have worn glasses for almost 20 years and I am amazed. 2 months later, I still reach to take off my glasses and remember I am not wearing any. Story 34. A second monitor for my laptop has been a game changer for me as a college student taking remote classes, and I got a great deal on it. Story 35. I got a $50 Motorola phone after my Google Pixel 3a was stolen at the beach. It does everything my other phone did, except take good pictures. It is noticeably slower, but it is incredible that you can get a smartphone for $50. I am typing this on it right now. Story 36. A Switch. Running around Hyrule and Fodlan has really alleviated the sting of not being able to socialize with others as often. Story 37. I bought an electric kettle. I'll never buy a teapot again. I wish I had bought one years ago. Story 38. My first cup of coffee. I recently left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which teaches that drinking it is sinful, and I found that coffee is a simple joy I had been missing. Update. Thank you everyone for the awards and the comments. You have brightened my day. Story 39. I wanted a dog my whole life. Finally, I decided I was settled enough and ready for the responsibility. I adopted her in August. I equate the fees and such with a purchase. While she has turned my life upside down, it is great. The last week has been rough, but I have to get up every day to walk her. By the time we get back, it is pointless to go back to bed, so I prepare her breakfast, then mine, and then I do what I need to do. Story 40. A self-stirring coffee mug is so much fun that I actually look forward to getting up because it means I get to use it. Story 41. My kitten. As a child, the family cats ignored the children, so I did not care for cats and did not want one. I have had my kitten for 4 months now. I think she is 8 or 10 months old. She is very playful and always wants to be near me. When she is not playing, she waits for me while I work and sleeps in front of my keyboard. Story 42. Weighted blanket. Smothers the anxiety. Edit. An award. So validated right now. Story 43. I traded in a clunker for a new car. It was a money drain, and its value had dropped much further than I thought. The stress relief was immense, and the money saved, even with a new car payment, is significant. Story 44. We met our son at Walmart the other day. He brought 2 of his daughters we had not seen since March. They are 6 and 4 years old and wanted to ride the electric cart with Granddaddy. The little 4-year-old asked me, "Can I have this?" I said, "Girls, you can have anything you want." When we met up with my wife and son, they laughed at me because my shopping cart was full. The only things I would let my son take out of the cart were slime, Play-Doh, and a paint set. Story 45. Found a gem of a used record for $1.99 titled Starlight with various hits from 1979. Story 46. We adopted our Great Pyrenees Dixie. She is a lifelong family member and the sweetest dog ever. I can't believe she had been returned twice before we found her. Story 47. All of the parts for my first personal computer arrived. I am very happy with it, and it has turned out to be very useful for school. It also means I can play Cyberpunk 2077 later today. Story 48. My honeymoon. My husband and I went on vacation for New Year's and spent an amazing week together before everything went wrong. Story 49. A lawyer helped me defend myself in court when I filed an order of protection against my ex. Story 50. I've made many fun memories with my Wii during quarantine and will continue to make more. Story 51. I got $35 for my birthday. I spent $15 on the Henry Stickmin collection and waited until Halloween for a sale. I bought Portal and Portal 2 and then waited until Thanksgiving, after which I bought Half-Life. I am definitely going to have a lot to do over winter break. Story 52. An engagement ring. I haven't proposed yet, but it's still the best purchase I've made. Story 53. This steel vulture sculpture is in my front yard. I named it Clarence. Story 54. Hands down, a menstrual cup. I used to be scared and even grossed out by them, but using one has changed my life. Now I feel in control of my body rather than the opposite. Story 55. I got new whiteboards. I do not understand how people can survive without them. The ability to jot things down in a clear, visible place has many uses. You can make lists, plan your days, and work out problems easily. They are much less intimidating than writing in notebooks because you can erase anything you want. I have used whiteboards for years, and getting these new ones was long overdue. Story 56. Absolutely. The espresso machine I bought at the start of the quarantine. Story 57. An engagement ring. We are getting married in 2 weeks. Story 58. I am not sure this counts as a purchase, since we did not pay anything, but we ended up adopting one of our foster puppies this year. We had donated heavily to the rescue by covering medical bills for other foster animals, so they waived the adoption fee. Photos are omitted. Foster failing means a foster family adopts their foster animal. It is called a failure because many people adopt their first or second foster and stop fostering, which reduces a rescue's ability to save additional lives. This is different from a planned foster-to-adopt arrangement. In our case, Machi, formerly known as Iago, was foster number 310 through 319 beginning in May 2012. He arrived with his mother and siblings, which makes the numbering uncertain. We have continued fostering. Foster number 361 is currently in the house and should raise the count in 1 to 2 weeks. Update. Recent photos of Machi are available elsewhere. Story 59. I bought my first three-dimensional printer. It has already helped me a lot fixing things around my house. Story 60. I installed a non-volatile memory express drive, a Samsung EVO 970. They said it was overkill and unnecessary. The improvement in boot and loading speeds was definitely worth the money. I don't think I'll ever need a new solid-state drive. Yes, I know it will die one day. That is a metaphor. Okay, it is not a hard drive. Story 61. Getting my tubes tied. I am so excited. I cannot pass my genetic problems on to the next generation. There are mental health issues on my father's side and hereditary health conditions on my mother's. Story 62. Honestly, it is probably the anti-fatigue floor mat I picked up for $24 that now sits by my sink and stove. Standing on it is like floating on a cloud and makes cooking and cleanup so much better. Story 63. It is a Peloton and other home gym equipment. I rapidly gained weight early this year. I lost my job at a hotel, lost my father, and our wedding was canceled. I ate my feelings, and arguably I still do. With no gyms open and no desire to exercise, I faced getting heavier and becoming increasingly sad. I know it is gimmicky, but the Peloton really turned around my relationship with my body and my health this year. I love the classes, and it encouraged me to get outside and start running again. I bought it in August and have now lost all of the weight I gained this year. I am feeling better. I am drinking less and eating better because I feel more connected to my body and my health. And the endorphins from exercise have helped me keep my head up every day. Seriously, it was worth every cent and it was not cheap. Story 64. Tesla stock is under $150 per share. It is worth more now. Story 65. I discovered mushrooms and bought everything I needed to start growing them for personal use. They have helped me greatly, and I really enjoy the hobby and process. Edit. I am getting many responses and messages asking about the growing process. I am not an expert, but I can read and follow instructions, just like cooking from a recipe. There are many great resources on Reddit. I followed the Reddit guide by Unklebens to get started and then tweaked my process through trial and error. Please read that guide before inundating the subreddit with questions. The Shroomery website and YouTube also contain extensive information. Story 66. Dyson Airwrap. My hair is like a sponge. It holds so much water, so it normally takes a very long time to dry. It is also very wavy or curly and therefore tends to get pretty frizzy, so normally I would have to straighten it after blow drying. With the Airwrap, I do not have to straighten afterwards, and it reduces my drying time by about 30 minutes. It saves so much time and greatly reduces damage from heat styling. Story 67. Well, I recently moved because of a stalker issue. I have been attempting to turn this new apartment into a smart home and started with a peephole camera on the door. I have not had any luck with the stalker yet. I caught the person on video, but I cannot prove anything is sinister until the restraining order goes through. I did, however, catch a video of my best friend struggling to get a heavy box into my apartment and his pants falling down around his ankles. In my opinion, the camera paid for itself after that. I found it hilarious. Next up is a smart deadbolt for the door. I have children and I am not playing this stalker game. The model that would fit my apartment door is way out of my budget. Story 68. My wife bought me a pair of Felco pruning shears for the pandemic garden, and I thought, come on, $50 for pruning shears? But they were a dream. They cut anything cleanly and felt comfortable. I spent hours in the woods trimming trees and bushes because the shears felt so good to use. Story 69. Not a purchase exactly, but I am paying for my teaching certification course. I should have done this years ago. Story 70. A kalimba. I saw someone playing one on a promoted post in the Reddit mobile feed. I clicked the video because I was intrigued and was amazed. I bought a kalimba a few days later. I've had it for a week, and I'm discovering the world of music. I love it. Story 71. I missed riding for a long time after I moved to another country. Now my bike is my therapy on bad days. Story 72. I am a very hairy woman. The hair on my legs and armpits becomes long and thick if left unchecked. It becomes itchy and sometimes catches on things. Shaving was a nightmare because of razor burn and it took so long. I bought a beard trimmer specifically for my legs. It was the best purchase of my life so far. It does not shave all the way down, so I do not get ingrown hairs. Thank you for the suggestions, but I am not interested in removing my hair entirely. I know it may sound odd, but I like it. I just do not want it to get too long because it is physically uncomfortable. Story 73. I bought a 1968 Cessna 150 in September and have already flown its 75 hours. I am loving every minute. Story 74. It is hard for me to pick anything other than the house I bought this year. It was not just any house. It is in my home state where I had been away for 11 years. I moved to the coast immediately after graduating because that was where the jobs were and where I felt I had to go. Now I can finally be close again to my family, some of my oldest friends, and the community that raised me. It always felt wrong that, to be professionally successful, I had to leave the people and places that formed the foundation of that success, unable to give back or help them grow. Moving back this year feels like a long overdue correction. Story 75. My dog. We officially adopted him in February 2020. He is from the Dominican Republic, and his flight arrived on March 15, 2020. I was so worried his flight would be canceled. The walks have been clutch. Edit. Dog photo. Story 76. Counseling and antidepressants. I have put both off for so long, and my mental health has improved significantly. Please talk to your healthcare provider if you are unsure about either. Counseling especially has been very good for me. Story 77. A mouse jiggler will keep my status as active on my computer while I take a nap. It is the best purchase for working from home. Story 78. I use my Instant Pot all the time. Keeps the family well fed and has greatly reduced the time I spend in the kitchen. Story 79. A floor-length hooded bathrobe is obscenely comfortable, and when I draw the hood up I look dramatic. Story 80. My iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil and keyboard was extremely expensive but worth every penny. There has not been a day when I have not used it. I love drawing on it, playing games on it, and using it for school. Story 81. A robot that vacuums and mops. I am not exaggerating when I say it saves hours of cleaning each week. 5 of us are here all the time, plus a dog and a cat. It runs daily, and my floors no longer stress me out. Story 82. These are the things I needed to groom my dog at home. She is a standard poodle and her coat requires regular care. Professional grooming is expensive, and I prefer to do it myself so I can check her health frequently. A friend who grooms showed me which tools to buy. My parents bought a grooming table, and I purchased the razor and blades myself. It was the best purchase I made this year. Grooming is a great bonding experience. Every 2 weeks, I check her body for anything unusual. She had a haircut today and, as always, was perfect. Having this routine gives me peace of mind because I know it is me caring for her, not a stranger. She comes to work with me at the pet store, the kennel, and during my dog training sessions, so I bathe her frequently. Keeping her coat short makes bathing easier and prevents matting. The tools paid for themselves within a month. Story 83. The blanket from Big Blanket Company, measuring 100 square feet, changed my life. Story 84. This will get buried, but I bought air conditioning. I had a full professional installation for the ducts, electrical work, the air conditioning units, insulation, and everything else. The house we are in was our old rental with only window units. It is a very old home that we are giving some love and care to. It is so worth it. I also installed a new Nest thermostat, a non-learning model because apparently you cannot turn that feature off. This model is inexpensive and works smoothly. Having gone from air conditioning to no air conditioning, you really appreciate the comfort it brings. Story 85. Disney Plus. My poor kids have lost so much this year. At least we've had some fun working our way through the Disney movie catalog. Story 86. Legal weed. It started out just for fun, but medication issues have made its anti-nausea effects very much appreciated. Story 87. I got an acoustic guitar. I figured I might as well learn something while cooped up indoors. I never knew fingertip calluses could develop so quickly. Story 88. I bought my first mechanical watch, a Seiko 5. I have trouble with battery-powered watches losing time over a few days. I am happy to say this mechanical watch does not do that. Story 89. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is not the best game I have ever played. In many ways it has poor design, but the basic gameplay, the sense of humor, the uplifting brightness of the world, and its huge scale make it very easy to play and require little concentration, which is pleasant right now. I bought it on sale with all the downloadable content. It did not cost much. Story 90. I adopted a cat in February. Little did I know that it would be just the two of us for the rest of the year. Story 91. I got a second-hand Kindle, the best purchase I have ever made. I even completed my target of 10 books this year. It is not much, but it is honest work. Story 92. If I am being serious, it is my first car. It is not in great shape, but I am hopeful that I will learn a lot about fixing cars. I have already learned a bit. It also opens many doors for me. If I am not being serious, I bought a dozen tiny penises on Amazon, and when I visit people I will hide a penis somewhere in their house. Edited. Thanks for the award. Story 93. I adopted a senior cat for $40. He is my snuggle bug. He lets me spoon him every night and purrs like the little engine that could. It was the best purchase ever. Story 94. Eye drops. Holy shit. I cannot describe how much my eyes were hurting before. Story 95. I bought a guitar in July to force myself to learn, and I added an electric guitar in October. I am absolutely in love with it. I also buy Zoloft every 3 months. Great purchase, laughing out loud. Story 96. Stand-up paddleboarding is a great socially distanced activity where I live. Story 97. I bought a robot that vacuums my apartment. I call him Charles, and when I turn him on I sing, Charles in charge of cleaning up my place. Story 98. I bought Bitcoin during the slump around June and turned $1,000 into $2,500. Story 99. Nursing school after 2 degrees. A degree is never useless. Do not devalue education. I did not get the job I was looking for after 4 to 5 years. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.